Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I'm back with another story time. This video is going to be about the first time that I took psilocybin or magic mushrooms. Um, Holy shit. So this happened a while ago. This happened actually a long time ago. This happened back at the end of 2016, around the same time as my last story, the codeine at church, which if you haven't seen that one, definitely go check it out. Pretty good little story, I thought. But this one's an absolute fucking classic. So the first time I took mushrooms, like I said, it was back in end of 2016, and I had a buddy, and we're gonna call him Nick. Okay, now Nick, he had been known to come across some psychedelics here and there at the time, so you know he had just conveniently come into some mushrooms, and he had about, I think he had a couple eighths of them, and I was like, oh shit, I've been getting more curious at this point. I had already tried LSD. I hadn't. Wow, I guess I had tripped before this, so I had already done LSD. But I had never done mushrooms, so I was just very curious, and I was like, well, shit, let me get an eighth of those. I don't remember what he charged me. I think it was something like 25, $30. You know, now these mushrooms too, man, these mushrooms, they weren't that great. They were I mean, they did the job. They definitely, got us high, but they weren't that great. It wasn't anything to shake a stick at. Like these weren't, the penis envy mushrooms I did 5 grams with last year. That's a whole nother story time. Which, by the way, if you want to hear about that shit, leave a like, fucking subscribe, comment, let me know. Like, just let me know. Let me know what's good. So, either way, so I hit up Nick or whatever, and he's like, yeah, come through. So I slide over to his house, I shake him up, whatever. I'm like, what's good, bro? And we go inside and we check out these mushrooms. Now, the plan was, well, at first we were thinking about tripping that day, but we didn't really have everything set up. Like we weren't, I don't know, we felt like maybe if we waited till tomorrow, it would be a little better. Plus, I, I can't remember. I think I was just kind of feeling really out of it that day or something. Whatever the reason, there was just a better, just waiting till tomorrow was like, fuck it. We ain't got shit to do either way. So, I get these mushrooms from him, and, we probably kicked it for a bit, and then I took off, and then the next day rolls around. So I think I ended up picking him up, early afternoonish. And there's this spot by my house. It's just a really big driveway that goes up to basically the highest viewpoint in the area. And at least for easy access that you can just drive up to, right? So, we're headed to this place. And I forgot to mention along the way, our plan, which this is so fucking stupid. Don't fucking do this. Just don't. Why? This is it was so gross. I'll get to it, but we were like, well, let's get a pizza because we wanted something to put the mushrooms on. So we got our $5 Little Caesars. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking bussin'. Look, back then, that was what we had to eat. We weren't fucking balling like we are now. We weren't making the big boy dollars. You know what I'm saying? We were back on our chump change shit, fresh out of high school. Not really with a job or anything, like solid income, just dicking around. So we got the Little Caesars, right? Well, fuck, back then we didn't even give a shit. That shit was pretty gas. But so we got our Little Caesars, and I don't know why we were like, yeah, let's grind up the mushrooms and dust it over the top. Like for some reason, look, the more it doesn't matter how much you break the mushroom down, you just gotta fucking get it down as quick as possible. Turning it into a dust only makes it harder to get down in your system. But we'll get to that, right? So we got our fucking Little Caesars. We're on the way up to we drive up this fucking hill, which was only about 5-10 minutes from my house, which is where we planned to come back to after. We wanted to go up to this spot and chill for a while. So We get up there, everything's all fucking fine and dandy, you know what I'm saying? We're parked up. We've got weed on us. We had some lists. That was back, okay, that was back when, I don't even want to say the name of the dispensary, excuse me, but this place, man, they had these ounces for like $100, and they were so gas. I remember this one I had. It was a strain that had a lot of purple in it. I don't know, I can't remember what the strain was, but it was fucking purple, let me tell you. And I had a full ounce jar of this shit. We park up, we get right to it. We're grinding up our eights. We're both gonna take an eighth. That was the plan. So we're grinding up our eights, and meanwhile, we're fucking grinding up. So it was really kind of stupid. We were using the same fucking grinder to grind up the mushrooms and the weed, which I don't know. I've heard that somebody told me he fucking smoked mushrooms and saw purple dinosaurs dancing on his arm. I've tried that, nothing happened. I've heard it's really bad for your lungs, so probably not a good idea. But we didn't give a shit. We grind it up on the pizza because if we want to start eating these mushrooms as quick as possible, right? So we got our pizza set up, we're rolling up joints. Listen, we probably we hotboxed this little fucking two-door car that I had at the time. We probably smoked like 5 or 6 joints, just all right there back to back. We were just chiefing, and we're eating our pizza. Dude, this shit was so gross. I had a really hard time getting it down. It was by this point the pizza was kind of already getting cold, right? Because it had been probably like 30, 40 minutes since we picked it up, maybe an hour. And yeah, it was so gross. Oh, because we ground it to dust. And it was like, if you already know what mushrooms taste like, they taste like fucking dirt and asshole. And it's like, having it dusted across the top of a pizza was just terrible. Just don't do that. If you're gonna just do anything but that, ah, God, it probably ruined pizza for me for a while. Like if you do that, you will probably ruin a food for you for a while. Like I had a buddy who did that with a PB and J, and like just don't do it. It's so stupid. But either way, so we get these mushrooms down, and as soon as we finish our fucking pizza, and we're done smoking, okay, these like, I don't know, they were just like construction people, like they were just workers, like they weren't the fucking feds or anything, but they come up to the window and there's nobody around this area, so they kind of like snuck up on us. I don't know if they came from like another part of the hill or what, but they're like, hey, we're gonna lock up the gate up here because there was a little gate, I guess, like they're gonna lock it up, so like if you guys want to get out, you got to go now. Well, we had just fucking smoked like we were planning on sitting here for like 3 or 4 hours, which doesn't sound that interesting, but on mushrooms, being at a crazy, beautiful view with just, yeah, just all these trees and different things to look at, it's like, it was going to be a nice time. And like I said, I still have this whole ounce. We were going to be rolling the whole time, smoking, maybe get out, walk around a little bit. That was the plan, right? But obviously we had to go because we didn't want to get stuck there. So we fucking pull out, and they knew we were fucking like, dude. We got a whole ass pizza box in the car and like center console. We got fucking weed everywhere. We're rolling up on the pizza box. We're fucking. There's still mushrooms everywhere, and there was still mushrooms in the grinder too. Like there was a lot of I forget, he like had a second, I think Nick had like a second eighth, or he had more mushrooms or something. He was grinding up more because he was like, fuck it, dude, let's just keep eating mushrooms. And but this of course was when we get kicked out, right? So we just got a grinder full of mushrooms. We just left everything. We're like, yeah, this will be fine. The car is dank as fuck. Um, we just hop on the fucking road and we start driving, and it's starting to kick in, and we're feeling really giggly, and we're starting just laughing at like the stupidest things, to like hysterically, like I'm slamming my hand on the fucking steering wheel because I was driving, And I'm throwing my hands up. I gotta hit my water, excuse me. Those fucking gas station cigars, man. Don't smoke them. But either way, so we're fucking laughing our asses off. And I don't have any tint on this car, right? So anybody could see through from 10 miles away. Just what are the, like, we looked, come on, look, we're fucking going crazy in this car. And I'm at the fucking stop sign, right? And I'm like, we're chilling. We're hella close to my house, dude. We're fucking getting so close. And this fucking sheriff lights me up, and I'm just like, fuck, dude. Oh, I remember how my fucking, dude, oh, I almost shit my pants. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, looking at all the shit, I'm like, fuck, dude, we're so fucked. And, I was like, why is he fucking pulling me over? So, I'm at this intersection, right, where it's just a stop sign intersection. I live in a really small town, but I had to pull over, and I'm right. It was like a fucking Saturday or Sunday or some shit. It's fucking busy. There's people driving through. People are looking at me. I'm like, fuck, dude. And my fucking and Nick, he's flipping out. He's like, I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. I'm like, dude, chill, dude. I'm like trying to get this dude to fucking chill, but he's freaking the fuck out. And he's freaking me out, and he's making me even more fucking. He's like, dude, we're gonna go to fucking jail, dude. We have There's more mushrooms in the back. I'm like, fuck, dude, fuck, just motherfuck. So, the cop fucking comes up to my window, and I roll the window down, and he the first thing he does is he fucking takes off his sunglasses and he makes that face, and he's like, woo, you boys been smoking in here? Fuck, dude. And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over today? And I was like, honestly, officer, I have no idea. And he's like, I was thinking at first, like, I didn't stop long enough at the stoplight. Or the stop sign. I didn't see this motherfucker anywhere, which was really weird. Obviously, I was coming up on shrooms, and I'm going, oh, fuck, you know? And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, I honestly have no idea. And he's like, your registration's out. And I was like, you fucking prick. You fucking, I was like, dude, really? And I was like, okay, I'm like, I'm really sorry, dude. Like, I literally, I was in the hospital for a little while. I actually was in the hospital for like fucking 10 days or whatever. So, I had just missed my car registration. It was like fucking a month late. Like, it wasn't even that late. And he's like, so what are you guys doing? And he's looking at everything on the fucking, he's seeing all the paraphernalia everywhere. And he's like, what have you guys been doing? And we're like, dude, I'm starting to come up on these mushrooms. And I'm like, oh, dude, we're just at the top of the world. We're at the top of the world. And he's like, this cop was like, he was so fun. I actually know this fucking sheriff too, and he like knows my mom and shit. But I don't think at the time, obviously, he just didn't put it together. We live in a small town. Look, so either way, dude, I'm like, we're at the top of the world. And he's like thinking, God damn, yeah, you are. You guys are fucking lit. Um, and we were fucking lit. And so he's like, how much did you guys smoke? I was like, oh, we only smoked a couple joints. We got kicked out of our spot because they had to close the gate. We're going home. My house is like right over there. I'm so sorry, and he's like, well, you understand you can't be driving with, marijuana. You can't be, do exactly what I'm doing. You can't be doing this, and I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. I had my medical card, and I actually did at the time, because I got this from the dispensary. I was 19 and I had just got my medical card. And he was like, oh, well, can I see it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Thinking like, shit, this will get us right out of the jam. And I open my glove box and I go, it's in my dresser at home. I was like, it's in my fucking sock drawer, man. And, obviously I didn't say that, but I was like, oh, it's at home, it's in my dresser. And he's like, well, it ain't gonna do you any good. Like, dude, he was fucking with us. Like, he was not angry, but like he knew we were really fucked up. And so he's like, all right. He's like, I'm gonna need to see your guys' license, so um I don't even think Nick didn't even have a driver's license. He just had a school ID or something. Or like some kind of ID, but he didn't have a driver's license. So we hand him our IDs, and he walks away to go scan them up and just to, do standard fucking. Honestly, this is the only time in my life I've ever been pulled over. So I was fucking shook either way, but he's going off like, dude, he's tripping. He's like, dude, we're so fucked. We're gonna go to jail. We had mushrooms. We're gonna go to a fucking like a psychiatric facility. We're tripping, dude. They're gonna fucking know like, dude, dude, my mind's starting to spiral out of control at this point because I'm like, I'm thinking down that road of like, holy fuck, I'm gonna be sitting in jail tripping sack. Like, I really thought I was going to jail. I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, why didn't we put this shit away? And that's what he was saying to me. He's like, dude, why didn't we put this shit away? And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Why are you getting all mad? Like, you could have put shit away too. Don't just blame this on me. Like, he was literally just trying to throw it on me. Like, I'm like, dude, we're fucked. Shut the fuck up, you pussy. But either way, so I'm like, so we're like, fuck, dude, what do we do? But the cop comes back and he comes back to Nick's side. Because I remember this because he's like, okay, what do you guys have in the car? Excuse me. And I said, hit that water again. So he's like, what do you guys have in the car? So, um, the the first thing he does is he goes, let me see that grinder right there, because the grinder was just sitting right next to my fucking shift or whatever the fuck not my clutch. You know what I'm fucking talking about. Um, right there on the fucking center console, right by the cup holder, right in the center there. He's like, fucking, let me see that grinder. And so we're like, fuck, 'cause there's mushrooms in the grinder. So we hand him the grinder and he opens it up and he smells it. And he's like, oh, wow, yeah, you guys have been smoking some very strong weed or something. He's like, this cannabis is really strong. And I was like, and we're like, yeah, yeah, please don't say anything about the mushrooms. Now, the mushrooms were pretty fucking ground up in there, but still, it probably smelled like more like mushrooms than weed, honest to God. So he hands the fucking grinder back. He's like, what else do you guys have in here? And me being me at the time, I didn't really know my fucking rights or fucking anything. And I reach under fucking Nick's seat and pull out the fucking half ounce jar, or the ounce jar, excuse me. And I'm like, this is what we've been smoking. I got it from the club. And fucking officer pulls it. He grabs it out of my hand. He's looking at it. It says the name of the dispensary on the jar. I got the jar. Cause I thought that'd be cool. And it has their phone number on it and all their stuff. And he opens it. He's smelling it. He's eyeing this shit. 'Cause he's like, God damn, this is some loud. And we're like, yeah, it's fucking gas bag. You want to smoke? But you could tell too. He was a cooler cop because I feel like other cops wouldn't have been this cool. But in my town, I feel like they could I don't know. I feel like they don't care that much about weed. Even like before weed was legal, I feel like they didn't really care that much about weed. So either way, this cop fucking hands us back the jar, right? And he's like, so, okay, so you got, like, he actually started to kind of believe us, like, or he was just bullshitting us, but he was like, oh yeah, it looks like you guys got, like, he was really complimenting our weed. And we're like, well, thank you, we're on mushrooms, we're feeling good. Well, thank you, sir. We tried to, we only smoke the finest. Cookies are better, if you will. But either way, so he's like, okay, well, look, you guys, I'm not gonna write you a ticket. He's being really fucking cool, and he's like, but you can't be doing this shit. You're putting a bad name on medical marijuana, like all this stuff. People that really need to use this stuff. You're making them look bad, and he basically just gave us a lecture or whatever, and we're like, dude, whatever, okay. We are thrilled that we are not going to jail or getting a ticket or anything because, dude, we're fucking tripping. We're high as hell, dank. Cars are registered. Like, it's just or registration's not paid. And he didn't even give me a ticket or anything. And he's just like, go straight home. So that's what we did. We drove straight the fuck home. And we didn't really say much on the drive back. We're just both kind of sitting there because we're both like kind of fucking bickering in the car when before the cop, because it's like, because he's trying to throw it on me. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. We're both in this together. Like, you're not gonna fucking, oh well, you didn't put all the stuff away. It's like, dude, I'm driving the car. You could have put stuff away too, but you didn't do shit. So don't fucking be a bitch. But we didn't say shit, and we get back, and first thing we do is say, holy fuck, we need to clean everything up. We're never doing that again. Never, just learn from this. And we're starting to come up pretty good at this point. It's probably been to an hour and a half since we ate the mushrooms at this point. Maybe an hour. Not long, honestly, because we got kicked out of that spot so fast, right? Um, but we get back to my house, and we clean everything up, and we're just like, fuck, dude. We're just like, let's just get into my room and just chill out and just thank God we're not in jail right now. Like, that's what we just kept saying. Like, oh my God, thank God we're not in jail right now. That would have been such a bad trip. Which really, if you think about it, that would probably be the worst fucking way to experience mushrooms for your first time. It's fucking go sitting, or you know what I'm saying? Like, even that momentary heart sink, like, oh fuck, I'm screwed moment, like, it didn't ruin the trip. So that's good. But either way, so we're back, we're bumping some music, we're chilling out, we're just talking, we're up in my room, we're smacking this wax pen a little bit, and we're really coming up on these mushrooms now, and I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. And I remember, like, it wasn't too intense. I don't think I took that much. I don't think I ate as much as, like, because, like, when it was all dusted up, we just made a fucking mess out of shit. There was, like, mushroom dust in the seat. It's just not a good way to do it. Just eat the whole mushroom and then chase it with something if you have to. But don't don't grind it up. That was so stupid. Um, but yeah, honestly, we were just chilling, having a good time, and you know, it really wasn't, because I've done mushrooms many times after this, but it really wasn't anything too out of the ordinary. Like, I think because we were so stoned too, like, it didn't really pronounce the effects of the mushrooms, but I just remember looking at him and just like thinking like, whoa, this guy looks like a knight or some shit. Like, just the way, like, I don't know, just everything looked different about him. Just like more, it was the hardest thing to put into words, but everything just looked a little different. It was like I felt just a little bit like I remember feeling like, oh shit, if somebody comes, like, if my mom comes in the room right now, she's gonna know where, like, something's up, because like that's just how my, like, perception of everything was. I was more aware, right? My senses were heightened, and just like with everything else, it's like, but it wasn't like a super crazy mushroom experience, if you will. I think it was just more the whole story, right? That, with just everything that happened. But yeah, no, we really just kind of chilled, kicked it, listened to music, just kind of talked. I remember just having like kind of more profound conversations. But like I said, I probably didn't even eat the whole eighth. I probably even got maybe like 2 grams at most, and these weren't potent mushrooms. So plus being really stoned on top of it, it wasn't so much a mushroom experience, if that makes sense. But it really was a crazy high slash trip story. So yeah, either way, let me know if you guys enjoyed this story. I'm slowly starting to release some more of the crazier stories as, people either start fucking with them or whatever, but I'm happy to do it. I'm just happy to be making videos again. So if you guys thought any part of this was enjoyable or funny or stood out or relatable, just let me know. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next story. Peace.